Hello and welcome to Dysfunctional Dialogue. I am John McParland, and with me today is the most special guest there is, my friend since seventh grade, my wife, not since seventh grade, the mother of my children, my best friend, Debbie McParland.
Hi.
So what we like to do is we like to tell little stories on here, right? And maybe just have a little back and forth banter, which we have certainly had our share over the years. But let's keep this clean and maybe happy, right? Right.
Okay.
So I jotted some things down here that I thought that could be kind of fun to talk about. So you and I, obviously, we have an incredibly long history. We go back to, grade school. We worked together in high school.
Mm-hmm.
We stayed
we
friends.
Were friends.
We stayed friends for quite a while, and we dated. We dated on and off, right? And it's been a bunch of glorious years since then. Was it 29 now? Marriage?
Yes, we'll be 30 this year, June.
Well, then happy anniversary. Let me be the first to say it. Happy anniversary.
Okay. This is my nice anniversary present.
Right. So, of course, after all of those nice things I said about you at the opening, it's going to be much more difficult for me to get a reasonable solution when we divorce. That's I've now recorded the fact that that I love you.
As Bill said,
right. As Bill.
Life imprisonment.
No, well, imprisonment works. He did say life sentence, but yeah,
but
no, it's an imprisonment. It's an imprisonment of the mind. So my beautiful wife, she has just so many wonderful characteristics about her, not the least of which is her physical beauty, right? Which I was drawn to at the end of sixth grade when she was introduced to the class. I said, "Ooh, she's pretty." Yeah. I asked her out in seventh grade. We'll talk about that later, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe. Maybe. Just one of the kindest hearts. Is misunderstood at times, though, however, because she tends to, from time to time, get a phrase wrong. A saying wrong. Right?
No, it's funny because what we say is, so we'll be sitting down to dinner. It would be the five of us, John and I and our three children. And I would say something. And then Alex, bless his heart, would be like, this is what mom was trying to say.
The interpreter. Yes.
And it's like, thank God someone speaks mom around here.
And no one does anymore. Alex moved out. Alex
moved away. Oh, no.
Your translator. You have to get your translator on the line regularly. So, I'm not sure if you want to tell this one or if I should be telling this one. And it's the one. It could be any one of them. But,
there's many. So take your pick.
Right. So I'm going to pick this one. So Debbie was working at a preschool, and she was.
Oh my God! I know exactly what you're going to. Okay.
So am I? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so our daughter Melissa had gotten a summer gig at this preschool. And so her classroom was right across the hall from my classroom. And so it's me and a few other teachers. We're all in this one classroom. And we were talking about our favorite kind of candy. And I said, the Lindor chocolate. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. However, I said to my fellow teachers, my favorite is the chocolate balls. Stop what they were doing. Ran across the hall to get Melissa, and they're like, Melissa, come here. They're like, Debbie, tell your daughter what you just said. And that wasn't the only one. You're going to say the other one. You're going to say the other one.
I was going to say the other one. I was not going to say the chocolate balls one.
They didn't share it with my kid. It's bad enough I said it in the classroom. They have to go and get my daughter and say, listen to what your mommy just said. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You're going to say, go ahead, say the other one.
Am I going to? I don't know. I kind of wonder if you should. I mean, you were there. I wasn't there, so for me, it's just third party information. I would like to hear it from you. Come on,
All right.
you're
So
everyone.
they have the,
You're gonna enjoy this one. Yeah, bring it
okay.
on, Debbie.
So brand new to me, anyway, was these reveal parties where you find out what the expectant mother is having, a boy or a girl. And I said, so they were
So
talking about
you're at that same preschool, and you're with these same
same
women,
school, same
same people.
same women, and they're
Yeah.
talking about. So one of my coworkers was expecting, and I said to her, "Are you going to have a baby sex party?"
and, they, and they had no idea what you were talking about.
Like, what? And then again, they call my daughter to come into the classroom. And I'm like, it's bad enough I'm saying this shit. You gotta share with her. Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right. And I think after that, I just stopped talking in the class. I was done with it.
Oh man. I wonder if we got to get you a microphone because I think there might be a lot of echo going on in that area.
I told you because of the room that I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are
Let's
we
pause for a
pausing?
second. Yeah, let's pause
Okay.
for a second. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm just gonna just
Am I
stop
supposed to
there.
do?
No, you
Am I,
just sit there and look pretty. We're good.
okay.
We're back. You might notice some differences. We're dressed differently. Actually, I know I am. Are you dressed differently? You're dressed
I'm
differently
dressed
for
differently.
sure.
Got my
So we had
hair
some
done.
right, right. That's right.
It's
So
like,
yeah, I got a
so
better
much has
camera.
changed.
A
Nope.
lot's happened since we had our last recording together. We had some audio issues, so we had to bail.
Bail,
But we're
yeah.
back and we're ready to do some more giggling. So again, I'm here with my beautiful bride, Debbie McParland. I love you, Debbie.
I love you, John. We
Okay,
could
it's
call it
official.
the
She
Giggle
said she loved
Fest.
me.
We could call it the Giggle Fest.
The what?
The Giggle Fest.
Oh, is
That's
that
the
what we're
name of
going? Is
the
that
thing.
what?
This,
Yeah.
we could call, well, I'm just saying. I'm
Right.
just spitballing here.
Okay, excellent. Maybe
That's
stop
fun.
spitballing for a little while.
Okay.
All right. So what we were doing before, we were telling some stories as I stitch this together. We'll be right in the back end of us talking about let's just say the slightly disjointed approach you have to retelling stories or pulling phrases out and that kind of stuff. That was very entertaining. I'm looking forward to chopping it up into shorts. But
No, that's it. We're
there's
done.
there's some good
Okay.
stories, Debbie, between us. So when we last chatted, I brought up a story, or turned out to be two stories that put you in a spotlight and in a not very flattering way. So now we're gonna roast me. We're gonna roast
Okay.
me.
Okay.
So whose wedding was it at when I knocked on the limo to get your attention?
My sister's? Was it my
Well,
sister's wedding?
do you remember why I knocked on your window to
Yeah.
get your
Oh, yeah.
attention?
Okay.
Yeah,
So
good. Please tell everyone why
let,
I knocked on your window.
let's set. Okay. So my sister and my brother-in-law were getting married the weekend of the storm of the century. And it was whiteout conditions. And I remember being outside with my hair up in curlers, shoveling my car out of the driveway, out of the parking spot. So John took my car, and because I had better traction because of the snow. So
Yeah,
we
because
drove.
I had taken my Toyota Corolla out earlier in that day, and it performed miserably. And I cracked my windshield actually from the cold.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't know that.
yeah.
So John drops me off at my parents' house. He goes and does whatever he was doing, so we're getting ready, blah, blah, blah. We get into the limousine, and now it's my sister and the bridesmaids, and we're all hanging out in front of the church. And John comes and he knocks on the limo window, and we open the door, and he's like, "Oh, you girls look so beautiful. Oh, by the way, Debbie, I locked the keys in the car." So I was like, okay. And he's like, don't worry about it. It's locked. It's no one's gonna take it. Okay. So
But it gets,
I
just to be
only
clear, it gets way worse.
yeah. So now I find all this out afterwards. Okay. So John, okay, not only did he lock the keys in the car, but the car was running with the radio on and the heat blasting. So he walks, thankfully, he's only 5 blocks. He's only 5 blocks from his parents' house. So he figures he walks over
After the services. So
the
we had
service
the
was over.
service.
The
Yeah.
service was over.
So the whole time
So
the car's running,
the
the
car's
services are
running.
over,
Yeah.
and there was some
With
time
the heat
before
on and the radio blasting.
and there was some time before the reception,
Because we're taking pictures between the church and the reception.
of which I did not have to be involved with. So
Lucky you. So he walks the 5.5 blocks, right? It was about 5.5 blocks to his parents' house, right? And his brother's there and he's watching a game. And it must have been, because it was March, so it must have been a basketball game. So he goes over there and he stands there and he's like, hey, Jim, can you give me a ride over to Debbie's apartment so I could get her spare keys? And he's like, yeah, sure. Let me just finish watching this game. And they stay there for like how long?
I
Like
plopped myself
45
on the
minutes?
couch, had a beer.
He sat down, yeah, and he's hanging out. He's just like, my car is at least it was in the church parking lot. It's like, oh my God, that cracks me up. And that wasn't the only time you did that.
No, but hold on. So how can someone lock the keys in the car where not only was the car running, the heat was cranking, but the radio was on.
The radio's on. The radio was on. That cracks me up. That is so funny. You have such
terrible
shit luck with cars too.
Brain fart.
I remember. So we're on our way to a movie, right? So, and cheapskate date that I am. He's like, oh, let's go out to dinner. And I'm like, McDonald's. Let's go to McDonald's.
She loves her McDonald's French fries even to this day.
So
I can't believe you're going to tell the story. Okay, so now you're just you're raking me over the coals now.
No, it's your turn.
Yeah, so, I'm looking at my list here to see what else I can dig up here now. So go ahead, bring it on.
We're like, okay, let's
remember. I have full editing controls here. So go ahead. Yeah.
So we go to McDonald's and it's like, okay, but we got to hurry because the movie starts at such and such a time. Okay. So we get there and he's like, okay, we're running late. And he goes forward in the parking space where there's that parking brake thing. It was
one of those yellow bumpers that are at the end of the parking spot.
The cement. The cement.
Unfortunately, I didn't realize was there.
We didn't realize. We're like, all of a sudden, we're like, fuck.
And I was this little Toyota Corolla, the same vehicle I mentioned before.
Oh my God.
And I was just stuck on it. I tried it, it was a Toyota Corolla. I'm like, all right, maybe I can kind of lift it off, and no such luck. How did we get that off? I don't even remember.
Somebody, like either it was someone who worked there or someone else that was
helped me lift it off.
Thankfully it was a light car, so we were able to do it.
It was a light car.
But that was, oh my gosh.
All right, can we get off of this John roast?
Sure.
So, but I got 2 people to roast. I'm not going to say the names, but they are our offspring. So 2 of our 3 offspring. This is the story associated with it. So I go upstairs, 2-floor small house. I go upstairs. I get to the top of the stairs, and there's the hallway that runs from the bathroom on one side, and then it goes to the bedrooms on the other side. And there's toilet paper on the rug. And I'm like, why is the toilet paper on the rug? So I walk towards the bathroom, and I see that the toilet paper is attached to...
Still attached to the roll.
Still attached to the toilet paper roll. So I walk back the other way, and I follow the trail of the toilet paper, and I go to my kid's room, and my kid is in the bed, and the toilet paper is still attached to the inside of their pants on the inside. So it got stuck there, and they walked down the hallway and climbed right into bed. And crazier than that, like a year later, same exact thing happened where I go upstairs, the toilet paper is there, and I do the same thing. I walk back and forth, and it's my other kid. It happened to my other
Now
kid.
that I don't remember. I don't
Yeah,
remember
it
that.
did. I
But I
confirmed it
remember.
earlier with
I
I
think
confirmed it earlier with one of them.
you could
Yeah.
threaten. You could threaten the kid that because you recorded it. I
Yeah.
remember you like,
I know, that's true. I
hey,
could
where's
probably
the
dig that
toilet
footage up and
paper?
put it here.
You could
That'll
easily.
take a lot of effort digging that up. I don't know how I'm gonna do it.
I don't
And
know.
I already got clearance from one of them. That is not a problem, frankly. I could even mention the name. They didn't care.
No.
Was there a Sabrina fish story?
Oh, yeah.
Just tell it. Just tell it. What?
So my sister Sabrina and I shared a bedroom, and we were in our late teens, early 20s, right? And she got one of those little traditional goldfish bowls and a little goldfish, and I don't remember what the goldfish name was, but she loved this goldfish. And
Nice.
she's like, look at how he like, and he would, and I'm not kidding you, he would do like these little, like, wait for her and like do this little jump in the
So
water.
he was a particularly special
He was
goldfish.
a special goldfish. But so she loved this goldfish, right? And so this asshole that I worked for, in order to get us to work a little more, he's like, oh, I brought lunch for everybody. And I didn't want to eat mine. So I decided I'll bring it home with me. And so it was the sandwich. And I walk in the front door of our house, and I'm greeted with like my mom, like just being like, oh, and Sabrina crying hysterically. She's really upset. And I'm like, what's the matter? What happened? And she's like, Debbie, my goldfish died. And I was like, what happened was
Why
she
are we
cleaned,
laughing about that?
because so she had cleaned out the fish tank, the little fish bowl for this fish. Unfortunately, made the mistake of filling the water too high up, and he did his cute little dancey thing, but he was a little too high. And she when she went to go look for it, she's like, he's not in the bowl. He ended up landing on the radiator behind the table that
The
he was
radiator.
sitting on.
Of all things, the radiator.
And he cooked. And so she was, because it was winter. So she was really, really upset about it. She's like, I overfilled it. Oh. So I'm like, Sabrina, oh, I feel so bad. Here, take my sandwich. And she's like, thanks. What is it? Tuna fish. She's like, no. She's crying. Oh my God.
Wow. Yeah, because
I wonder
you
if
didn't
she
put two
remembers.
together. You're offering it's a goldfish sandwich
It,
for all
yeah,
intents and purposes.
yeah.
So
So,
really, the lesson learned is if you're gonna have an acrobatic fish, don't fill the bowl up too high,
no.
and whatever you do, don't put it anywhere near the radiator.
No. And our
Wow,
fish, I mean, we had a
that's
goldfish that lived 9.5 years.
yeah,
We
yeah,
had, oh my God, it was that long that we had Peppy.
yeah. Peppy.
Peppy the fish.
All right. You have any good stories of working with my old college roommate? So my old college roommate, after graduation, we moved back home. Debbie and I were dating, and she ended up actually working for him, right?
Oh man, he was a cut up, but only to a degree. When it was time to do work, he was all
Well,
about
let's
the
not
work.
compliment Brian on here, right? Because we're
I have
recording
to
this,
say
and
that because I'm telling you, I mean, that's what he was like.
yeah,
I remember just sitting back being like, oh, okay. I mean, I wanted to like goof off and do nothing. And he's like,
right.
yeah, let's goof off.
No,
But you know what?
yeah,
This is,
he had the same. It sounds like he had the same kind of philosophy that I had. Like, for instance, I remember working at a McCrory's all the way back then, way back in the day, and I was a good friend with the manager. Hope you're watching this right now, and actually, good friends with a couple of managers back then. But you know what I'm talking about when I say we would work our tail off, right, and get the place rocking and rolling, making sure that all the products on the shelves, make sure the warehouse is just right. But then we would go ahead and do something like having some beverages towards the end of the day, and setting up the boxes in like a slalom course, and grabbing a skateboard off the shelves and skateboarding around the back, or pushing the other guy through the boxes, among many
oh
other different
man.
things that we would do to have fun back at the McCrory store.
That
I
just
want to get you on, by the way. You should be on with me. You know what I'm talking about.
not me.
No, not you, not you. But where was I going with that?
Well, I was mentioning work ethics, and you were saying
Right, that's
getting
right. Okay, so yeah, that's of course. So yeah, getting things done, and then having fun, right? And I said the same thing to the kids, as they were growing up. Get it done, then have fun, right? Because once you take that burden off of all the work you got to do, you can relax and really have a good time.
yeah.
So
I would
power through, or at
yeah.
least knock out a chunk of it, so you could have a chill time and then get back to it
I would
later
say
on.
that I would say to the kids, take care of John of tomorrow today.
Yeah,
You know
you
why?
you,
Why?
you and I headbutt on that one because I could swear that was my line.
Oh no 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 no! You the thief of jokes! I tell you,
And I would
you
say
don't take.
say the same to you. All right, we're gonna have an argument now. Watch this.
Okay. You are, you are. So okay, it goes way back to once
It
upon a
goes
time
way back. It goes way back.
when
Yeah,
when we were dating. And this
yeah,
time we were actually dating.
yeah,
And we
yeah,
were turning the corner and I could
yep,
remember it. We were on the corner of Saddle River Road
yeah.
and Fairlawn Ave when it turns into Century Road.
And what was the joke that I said?
And I said, I don't think you said it. I said, I know I said it. There was like one of those yellow diamond shapes. And I said,
Yeah,
"Oh, look,
and
street
there was no
sign for
words
the
inside.
blind." There was
Say
nothing
what?
on it. It was just yellow. And they said, "Oh, look, there's a street sign for the
For
blind."
the blind. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, "I said this, Debbie." And it's like, "What? No, you didn't." I don't
Well, a
take
lot
any
of stuff was thrown around.
I don't take credit for a lot of things. But that one was mine. That was mine. I'm telling you.
I am not admitting that on a recording. It's not happening,
Yeah.
Debbie. Yeah, we've
Yeah.
gone back and
Okay.
forth.
But by the fact that you're saying I'm not going to admit it means that you're actually
Oh,
admitting.
very good lawyering there.
Mhm.
Nicely done.
I watched my Judge Judy.
You do. You do. All right. So I'm looking at this list. I might have like blown through. I didn't jot down a lot. So when you were working with Brian, I would call up to talk to you, right? And Brian would be like behind you,
Oh my
and
God.
I would we would use you as like a gateway to our conversation
Yeah, but
of
it wasn't even.
nonsense.
It wasn't even. It was pure gibberish. He'd be like,
Well,
Brian would say something like, "Debbie, tell John I said the grass is greener on the other side." And then you would say, "Tell Brian I said the glass is always half full." And it would be bullshit stuff that made
so
no sense. And
sometimes
I'm
it was
sitting there, I'm
that.
like,
Sometimes it was that, and other times it was like double and triple entendres, and we
"Oh
were having fun.
yeah,
We were having fun
yeah,
with it.
yeah,
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 and just
yeah."
kind of and frankly, torturing you in a
You
fun way.
guys
You were
had
having
so
fun
much
with it.
fun. I know, and that was like because Brian was like a brother. He
Sure.
was like a brother. I remember we were hanging out at Sutter's Mill in Suffolk, and you guys were arguing with me that I just jabbered on and on and on, and I'm like, that's bullshit. Especially you two, no way. So both of you are like, oh, okay, let's see if you could be quiet for 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
I'm
And so
still
I'm
waiting for
sitting there
that.
and I'm going, shut up. So I'm sitting there and I'm waiting and I'm like, and they're like talking. And I'm sitting there and I'm singing.
Get the
And
hell
then
out of here.
but
The
you guys
first
are
no,
egging
stop.
me on because you guys would be like, oh, like, oh, fuck, wish I could remember what you guys were saying.
No,
Because you
I'm going to
say
fill in the
things to
blanks
make
right
me
now.
want to say things. And I'm like, I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say. Meantime, you're like, oh, yeah.
True.
Meantime, 15, 20 minutes go by and I'm not saying shit. And you're like, oh, that clock is wrong. That clock is wrong. And I'm like, no way. And
No,
I started talking.
I'm sorry.
Otherwise, I'd
I'm
sit
gonna
quiet.
fill in a couple of blanks there, right? No, you like now it's time for me to do a little lawyering because frankly, you said I can't exactly remember, so I'm going to remember
I
for
can't
you.
remember because you guys were saying things to each
Yeah,
other
I know.
to egg me on, and I wouldn't say anything.
So we put this bet down, and it was I don't know, it was 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. That part I don't remember. What I do remember though is As soon as we say go, a second later she said something. It was a second. It was a second later. I'm like, Debbie, the clock had already started. You're already talking. You couldn't stop. So then we did it again, and I think maybe 10 seconds goes by, and you said something like, "Oh, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous." You blew it again. But then you did dig in. You did dig in. You're right. But Brian and I, of course, we weren't going to have it.
No.
We were ripping on you good. You never did make it to the time period.
I did too. Oh my God. I did too. I went beyond because you guys were like, no, that clock is wrong, Debbie.
I can hear you through the walls right now.
And I'm sitting there, I'm looking at the clock. And that's when, then I ignored the two of you. And I'm sitting there, I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, that clock is right. I've been quiet for 20 minutes now. You guys, Brian, you get on this show now.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to get Brian on here to verify that.
Yeah, he'll back you up. No.
That's why I said it. That's why I said there's no chance he was backing you up.
No way.
No. So good stories, Debbie. This has been just a blast of fun. We're gonna do it again, and hopefully the next few times will all be about roasting you and not necessarily me. But
wait. There is one thing that I have to say because Melissa mentioned it. So she said there was something about flowers, and then I said, okay. Once upon a time, when John and I were dating, I had said to him, "How come you don't give me flowers and candy like other boyfriends do for their girlfriends?" And he's like, let's talk about it. And now I'm paraphrasing this whole conversation.
Yeah, because I don't remember that part either.
Yeah, so he shows up one day, and I'm not kidding you because I still have it. A handful of grass that he pulled out of his parents' backyard and half of a candy bar.
It wasn't going to be a whole candy bar. Of a Hershey's bar.
A Hershey's bar. A half of a Hershey's bar. Half. And I think it had like bite marks in it and stuff. It was like
it did.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, and I was saying to Melissa, I'm like, usually like they would, a boyfriend would follow up with an actual bouquet of flowers and a box of chocolates. And she's like, no, that doesn't sound like Daddy. No.
Yeah. And she married me. So that was perfect. I wish I had pressed record before that because we were testing, and I wanted to make sure I was testing. Like I falling all over the place here. I wanted to make sure that everything was all set up right and the sound was right. I was doing a sound check, and I said, "Be louder, be louder." And my bride says to me, "I've never heard you say that before."